The first ever full odds shiny Pokemon that I encountered, or really any shiny Pokemon for that matter, was found on complete accident. I actually wasn't actively hunting for anything, it just happened to be shiny. Now, it wasn't even some ordinary encounter like on a route or in a cave or while surfing or anything. No, this was a hidden legendary encounter, an Alpha Sapphire version. Now, in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, if you look around the north side of Route 108, you can find this hidden area known as Sea Mauville. Now, this takes the place of the abandoned ship in the original Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. It's a partially sunken, abandoned research facility. And if you dive deep enough under the water, you can find this control room. And if you look around on the ground in there, you can find this item called the scanner. If you take this scanner back to Slateport City and show it to Captain Stern, in Omega Ruby, he'll gift you the Clear Bell, and in Alpha Sapphire, you'll get the Tidal Bell instead. Now, Alpha Sapphire is the game that I had, so when you bring this Tidal Bell back to Sea Mauville and go back to that same underwater control room, you'll find this Hoopa ring portal. These are scattered all over the post-game of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. This particular one allows you to encounter the legendary Pokemon Lugia. So, not long after the game released, sometime around early 2015, after what I believe was my second playthrough of the game, I was doing the post-game roundup of, these games have an infinite wealth of legendaries scattered all around, so I was going around collecting them. I was only 13 years old, this particular session I was playing the game in the back seat of the car when I was going home. And I decided to go for this Lugia next. So once I got there, down to the control room in Sea Mauville there, I started the encounter, but then I quickly realized I hadn't come prepared, and there weren't really that many Pokeballs in my inventory. Well, given that it was kind of a bit of a hassle to not only get to Sea Mauville in the first place, but then get all the way down to this encounter spot, you have to dive through the water and navigate the whole area. And I didn't really feel like, bothering going all the way back to a town to go get more Pokeballs and then returning with them. So what I thought I was going to do, I was going to just use the Pokeballs that I already had, and if I failed to catch it, I would just reset and keep trying this over and over again until eventually I caught this Lugia. Right, so a few attempts go by with me running out of every type of ball that I had in my inventory and having to reset and try again. Now, this car ride was only about, maybe half an hour long. So while I don't really remember exactly how many times I repeated this, it couldn't have been more than around 3 or 5. Well, after another failed attempt where I ran out of balls, I reset the game and checked the portal once more. And Lugia went ahead and appeared just like all the last few times I had done it. Except this time it was red. Now at this point, despite me never having personally encountered a shiny Pokemon before myself, I still knew all about them at this point. And let me tell you, this is not how I had pictured how finding my first one was going to go. Now, instead of any excitement like you would expect, all I really felt was dread, as I had already just failed to catch this thing a few times in a row when it, hadn't been shiny. So of course I feared this would be no different. So of course I weakened it as much as I could, and slowly went through all my varieties of Pokeballs in my inventory, desperately hoping that at least one of them would work. Now, about halfway through this process, we arrived back home, and I just had to resume trying to catch it after getting it back to my room. But eventually, I got all the way down to just one last ball, right, with it being my final chance to catch this extremely unlikely first ever shiny encounter. Right, so now this is the part that probably just sounds like a load of baloney to you, but I genuinely do not 100% remember how this story ended. Now, sure, at this point it was over 10 years ago, but you'd think that something as wild as my first ever shiny encounter, especially with it being a full odds legendary like that, you'd think I would at least remember the details. Well, that copy of the game is long gone by now. This is, a different copy than what I had back in the day, but I do know that I did upload most of my Pokemon that I had on it to Pokemon Bank, and of course now home, back when I still had the copy. So I recently did a deep search through there to see if I still had this shiny Lugia that I remembered in there somewhere. Well, while looking through Pokemon Home, I did actually find a Lugia that originated from Alpha Sapphire here, and I did recognize the OT name being from one of my playthroughs way back in around 2015. But like I said earlier, I did play through this game multiple times, and I have no idea which name I used for this particular playthrough I found the shiny in, so this doesn't really answer anything. And, well, in conclusion, I guess it doesn't really matter whether I actually caught this shiny Lugia that I'm remembering or not, because either way, I definitely don't have it anymore. So that brings us to this hunt. It's around that time of year again where I tend to get into my Pokemon phase for a few months. So usually what happens is a new Pokemon game, this time being Legends ZA, will release. So then I'll play through it and leave with overall mixed feelings on modern Pokemon, but, well, that's not what this video is about. So anyways, usually what happens is after that I tend to go back and play a bunch of older games for a while until I, burn myself out on them all again, and then rinse and repeat every year or so. Right, so a little over a month ago, I started playing through Crystal version again. And I was thinking about doing some shiny hunting when I got done. Likely just some egg hatching, since you can get the odds set up pretty good for that in Gen 2. But, then I remembered this story about the Lugia and Alpha Sapphire 10 years ago now. And I thought, it'd be nice to hunt for one in its original games now. Well, with a full odds 1 in 8192 hunt like that, I really didn't want to just hunt it on just one game, that being that single cartridge of Crystal at one time. And since I also had copies of Gold and Silver, I decided to set them all up at the same time so I could triple hunt them. And after doing some cartridge repair on this copy of Silver and replacing the batteries and everything because they had been sitting around for a few years, I went ahead and blasted through both Gold and Silver with the help of just trading stuff to and from Crystal version to level things up faster, get quick EXP, and make it easier. So now that all three games had the Master Ball and the Silver Wing, and I had gotten to the point in Whirl Islands where I could catch Lugia, I went ahead and set up the hunt around 6-7 p.m. after work on December 4th. So I threw together a simple recording setup with my phone camera connected to OBS on my PC here, and I started resetting, so here's how that went. Shiny Lugia, already? That came after 414 soft resets. It's on it's on the silver version right here. What the heck? It won't focus because this one's too bright for the camera. Let me try and get that. What the heck? I'm just looking on the monitor right there, because the camera was blocking my view. And it's really washed out, as you can tell. So I was just thinking, oh, that kind of looks a little red, but I'm not sure. Yeah, there it is, shiny Lugia in silver version. After only 400, I spent so long setting up these three games, and I get it in 414 encounters. There it is. I do have a Master Ball on this save, but let's see if I can get by without having to use it. Yeah, so I'm not really sure why in the moment I decided to take my phone off the tripod there and start holding it, pointing it at the screen instead. I hope all the camera movement here isn't too much of a disturbance. Sorry about that one, guys. Yeah, I know it hasn't even used all its recovers yet, so I'm not worried at all about it struggling to death. Cool, more beeping. One, two, three. Oh, cool, I got it. No Master Ball required. Got my Lugia. It's just like my first ever. Okay, there's the normal Lugia right there. And there's the shiny one. I'm not going to nickname it. I'm just going to go ahead and save real quick. My first ever full odds shiny, back in Alpha Sapphire, now in its original game. Okay, I do not have an escape rope or a Pokemon that knows dig on this save file, so now I have to just get all the way back manually, I suppose. Oops. Alright, I've got it in my party now. We can go ahead and take a look at it. There it is right there. You got your red, shiny Lugia. Do we have any nature guesses? This is Gen 2, never mind. But yeah, it's got Aeroblast, because, I caught it in silver instead of gold or crystal. It's, yeah, unnamed right there. There it is. Alright, let's go ahead and check it out in battle. Let's just get into an encounter here real quick. Let's see what we've got here. Regular Magnemite. And shiny Lugia. Oh, that's so cool. Here, have an Aeroblast. It's not very effective. Cool. Let's go ahead and send this over to Crystal so we can see how its sprite looks in gold and crystal versions. It's animated right there. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's go ahead and check this out in Stadium 2 now, where I believe the shiny shows up as green instead of red. Let's see here. Hopefully the CRT cooperates with being recorded. Oh yeah, that is very green. That's a shiny Lugia right there. Yeah, let's go ahead and use a move on it and see what we have. Okay, let's just go with Aeroblast. See its signature move on the N64 here. There you go. That's 3D Gen 2 shiny Lugia right there. Nice. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed not only the little reaction and showcase there, but also the long-winded story at the beginning. I really didn't expect to find this shiny in less than an hour of hunting. I mean, I set up all 3 games here and was resetting for, yeah, like I said, 414 encounters. I'm not really sure why I was this lucky, but I'll take it. I hope you all didn't mind too much that I talked about Alpha Sapphire more than the actual, game I found the shiny in. But I kind of just wanted to really tell a story with this video, make it a little more interesting than just cutting right to the chase with the reaction. Yeah, maybe I'll go for Ho-Oh next. I haven't really decided on another target yet. But either way, yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'm definitely going to try to make more videos like this in the future, so please look forward to them.